My head hurts. There is so much going on in here. Doesn't look like a lot, but there has been. And most of it's been with this cabinet right here. And the cabinet that's going in over there. And what I've been doing is modifying a lot of stuff, like this area under here. I had to modify this so that I'd have access to the water tank, which is right there, over there from outside. So that's underneath the kitchen, and I need to be able to access that water tank if it ever needs to be serviced from there. Same thing under here. But first I'll show you this over here. So when planning this, this piece and this piece was furnished to me as well as that, but nothing over there. And I needed to make those so that I can hang all the electronic equipment. So the Victron 3000 watt inverter, that is a progressive onboard power analyzer and surge protector. The shore power comes into that, will be analyzed, checked for polarity. It's also a surge protector, and then that connects into the inverter. So I started hanging the equipment, solar controller. I have over here the Lynx distributor, which is going to end up getting put over on this wall. Where's the other one? There's also a DC to DC controller down there. That's going to be put on this wall over here. That's this wall. I added in these chases here as well as on the other side for the water tank. There will be a wire chase that goes all the way up to the ceiling, because you see that bundle of wires has to get to power. There'll be both a 12 volt fuse block in here and a 120 volt circuit breaker box. Both of those will be mounted there, and that's why the Lynx had to get moved over to here. But the biggest amount of work was this area right here. So I'm going to clear this off. I'll be right back. Okay, so the issue I had, all of this was supposed to get glued together. And the issue I have with that is that there is a water tank underneath here. And if I glued that together and that water tank ever had to get replaced, there is no way to replace it unless you tear out this entire dinette set. Now maybe it's me, because I do a lot of service work, that I like to make things serviceable, but there was no way I was going to install that with that issue. So like this one, where I notched out here to have access, I should have finished doing this. You can see down in here, this is the top of the bench that is designed to be removed, that will actually be able to lift up for access. But underneath here is the water and air heater. I'm using an AquaHot Gen 1, which is the DIY or self-build version of the Truma Combi. That'll be propane fired. That fills up this entire area, and I will have to route drains around that to get down through there. And so as you can see, this is the water tank, and I needed a way that in the future, if that needed to be replaced, it can get replaced. So I redesigned this whole section here. I added cleats over there, and I'll try to do this with one hand. No, it's not going to work. Let's see. Nope. Okay. So there will be 4 screws holding these cleats into here and into this panel. And then this slides out. Same thing here with this one. In fact, this one I might be able to do. You can see that comes out. So those panels will come out. But before they do, I'll be doing something else. So right back here, I'm going to be adding 2 inches of angle iron, aluminum angle iron, architectural, so I have a nice square corner on it on the inside. That's going to come down and go underneath this floor right here. That will support this floor, even though that's 3/4. And this was going to be have biscuit joints in there. Eliminating the biscuit joints, the angle iron will support the vertical load coming down on this floor because it will be attached to this panel, and this panel held in by the cleats. This, because this is a step up, this is actually the floor of the dinette. I will be adding a piece of aluminum trim on here to protect this edge. That will be aluminum and then black powder coated. That will screw down into a cleat that is going to be underneath here. And by removing those screws, that will disconnect this, which will lift up and then come out. There will be a cleat back there that holds that down. So this front part will lift up and then slide out from underneath that, and that will give me access to the tank. Then both of these sides can be removed, and I have complete access to anything that's underneath here for anything in the future. And this is something I always find very important when I did my van build, and this is I want full access to repair, modify, replace anything that's inside of these cabinets. So that's what I've come up with here, and that's why we are where we are with this build right now, is that there's been a lot of head scratching and modifying and bouncing back and forth between equipment layout and modifying cabinets and coming up with new systems, making access panels in there. There were cleats put in the back, since there's not much meat left on that back leg. Put in a cleat here to support that. Did the same thing on this side because of that access panel down there. And the plan tomorrow is that the cabinet that goes in front of this wall that extends the bed out, I will be working on that now while I start doing finishing, which is the actual finish, clear finish that I'm putting on the insides. There won't be any bare wood on the inside or the underside here. Any wood will be sealed. I did the same thing with the van. No raw wood anywhere in the build. And the same thing in there. All that will be sealed up. And if you do happen to notice, there's a lot of cork there. I am planning to use cork under my water tanks in both locations, and that is to prevent condensation on this floor. These fiberglass interiors tend to attract moisture or condensation very easily. So anywhere where I can have a temperature change, I am going to be isolating that with cork. So there will be the whole wardrobe. Those walls will be lined with cork. Where it's not wood, it'll be cork. Around the bed on these side walls and under the bed we'll have cork. Underneath the water tanks, both water tanks will have cork. And also in this cabinet here, the interior walls will be cork lined. Cork is a great product. It's an insulation. It is mold and mildew proof. It's really a fantastic product. I thought it went well with the bamboo concept with a renewable resource. Cork flooring is very common. A lot of people will use cork flooring because it's very nice to walk on and very durable. And I believe, having lived in here for 2 years, that is going to solve the temperature issues I have, where I have a warm heated surface and then we go behind something like the mattress that is preventing heat from hitting there. Yet right above the mattress, the panel will be warm. Below the mattress, it's cold. We get that line where we'll get the humidity. The cork will prevent that moisture from forming on the fiberglass. So, yes, as I said in the beginning, my head hurts because there is so much going on in here right now. And again, if you remember, I'm healing from surgery. This is my relaxation, which this doesn't feel relaxing, but there's not been a lot of strenuous activity. Most of this stuff is fairly light to work with because I'm working with all puzzle pieces like that. These are all cleats up in there. This is part of the kitchen. I think, these are shelves for in the kitchen as well. One of those panels are actually the pantry that's here. And that's it. So much going on. It looks crazy. It is crazy. And every day I am making sense of this chaos we see here. Everything is here for a very specific reason. And most of it is that I need it nearby to work with, to either measure out or figure out the placement for it. But it's coming together, and that's really exciting. I'm happy. Oh, and if you think there's a lot going on in there, take a look out here. Electrical components, electrical wire, truck parts. Then we get into my kitchen and food, refrigerator. But there are a dozen projects out here. Those traction boards, the L-track that has to get put on the back to hold the traction boards. This is the air dam for the solar panels that pushes the air up and over the solar panels instead of allowing air to get under it. Yeah, this is all, everything out there is all projects that are happening in here right now. See if anybody can guess what that is for. Say it in the comments if you can. But yeah, everything going on out here. Got the rest of the panels underneath the covers right here. That's just one day of Amazon boxes of materials that are coming in. And then this is my workstation. And there are more panels underneath here that I'm working on. There's that aluminum track that will be getting put in place tomorrow. So much going on. So much going on. Here are the access panels. So the back side, this is actually going to be full of batteries right here. There'll be a small space about this much. I could probably get my electric lines for plugging into shore power, which is right back here. I'll be able to get those stored in here, but this whole compartment will be filled with the batteries. We come around the other side, and there you can see this will have the water and air heater right here, but I can access that from the top down, and before that's in, I could work on my water tank. There'll be some storage right over there, and then here is the other water tank from the kitchen. This is gray water, fresh water. Got 57 gallons of fresh, 21 gallons of gray, all being piped over here to dump out. And eventually, this panel right here, this whole thing is going to have water pump, water filters. This is going to be the whole plumbing side. And I did that in the van too, if whoever remembers that. Except I have a lot more room to work in here. This will have all the valves, the filtration systems, all that will be mounted on this wall. All the plumbing will be drained out through this access hole that comes down through the flatbed and up underneath. There's an area right there that comes out. Lots to think about, and it's constant. Oh, here's another thing I added. I added this cleat down here for a couple reasons. That cleat will actually run around this water tank to hold it in place. 57 gallons or even 21 is a lot of weight, and these tanks want to move, so I will be gluing and screwing those cleats all the way around this tank, and then there will be straps which come in tomorrow in more Amazon boxes. There'll be straps that'll go up over this tank and hold that down, and the same thing over here. These tanks will be held down by straps that are mounted into the cleats to prevent that from moving. And these tanks do tend to swell when you fill them up. These areas here swell out, so I keep space all the way around it so that it has room to grow. If you put that directly up the wood, like if I put that right up against here, it would actually push that wall out if I filled that tank up and started driving. So that's what's going on here, and that's all from out there. Thanks for watching and being part of this madness. And if that wasn't enough, I am breaking camp here and moving to another location. I've been here 2 weeks on Friday, and that was my agreement here. So I am headed to another location in North Olympia. Dan's going to help me break camp and get all this stuff moved about 20 minutes north of here. So Friday is going to be a really fun day. I was hoping to have all the cabinets installed before that happened. I don't think I'm making that, but it'll be what it is. Yeah, my little home sweet home here is going to relocate. The other property is really cool. I'll actually be working on that property for those folks as well. That'll be my first job back to work. But it's a little more private than this is here. It'll be a lot quieter. but very similar. I'll take some videos when I get that set up on Friday and post that next week.